Hello everybody, Disciple here with Overwatch Curios. So there are some pretty big changes coming to the PTR tomorrow, and if you guys haven't seen about them, I want to tell you a little bit about what's going to be going on, because this is some pretty big news for pretty much everyone who plays Overwatch. Now, first off, you guys probably saw that Blizzard announced the new map Junkertown, and I want to talk a little bit more about that and what it means, but overall, there's not really going to be too much to say until we get a chance to try it out, which should be on the PTR tomorrow, so I am going to be streaming that on YouTube as well as on Twitch at twitch.tv/disciple. But what I'm most excited about are these D.va changes coming to the PTR. Now, I don't know how excited I am for them because they could potentially make her way weaker, but with the way that I like to play her, it might actually work out. Now, you guys probably know that I really love playing D.va. I play her quite a bit in ranked, and she's just incredibly strong and useful at the moment, and her biggest use so far has been her defense matrix, being able to just completely block and shut down so many enemy ultimates. The fact that you can just quick toggle it to eat any projectile ultimate, including Zarya's, which makes me sad, or the fact that you can leave it on to shut down a lot of the really strong ultimates in the game, like Soldier 76, Reaper, or Pharah, which are the highest damaging ultimates that you have. D.va has just been so strong in both solo queue and in the competitive scene, and people are playing her a ridiculous amount. So, the biggest change is that they're increasing the energy drain on the defense matrix by 2 times, which means that she can use it about 50% as much as she could have before. So you're going to have a 50% duration on the defense matrix, which is absolutely insane when it comes to blocking down any sort of sustained damage. Now, this doesn't necessarily affect eating the projectile ultimates like Zarya. As long as you are conservative with your shields, then you can pop it and eat them. But overall, your shield uptime is going from 4 seconds out of every 10 seconds to 2 seconds. So right now on live, she can hold down her defense matrix for 4 full seconds, and then it'll take 10 seconds to charge. Now, it's still going to take 10 seconds to charge, but it's only going to be up for 2 seconds, which is pretty huge when it comes to a lot of the bigger ultimates that D.va was shutting down. Pharah and Reaper both have channeled ults that deal some of the highest damage in the game, and they both last 3 seconds long. So before, D.va could have held her defense matrix on for the entire duration, and if she was on it in time, block literally 100% of the damage coming out of them. But now with a 2-second defense matrix, there's going to be at least 1 full second, potentially more if they get a little bit of extra time off at the beginning, where D.va can't block anything, and Pharah can do a lot of damage in 1 second. Soldier 76 has a 6-second ultimate that D.va used to be able to block down really well, and even in those 2 seconds that she couldn't block it, she could at least body block so that he would get D.va out of her mech instead of firing on some of the squishier characters in the backline, which is what Soldier really loves to do while he's using that ultimate. Now D.va is going to be significantly worse against Soldier 76, and it's going to make Soldier so much stronger. Take so many characters who've been blocked by D.va in the past. Say you're McCree and you're ulting and trying to kill the enemy team, but D.va comes up and hops on your face and you can't wait 4 seconds for the defense matrix to go down. Well, 2 seconds might actually be long enough to wait for it to go down, then pop it and kill the team, since if they're not completely focused on you in those 2 seconds, there's a good chance that you could survive, since obviously D.va isn't shooting at you at all, she's channeling her right click. So now it's going to go down a full 50%, which is absolutely insane. This is a huge nerf to D.va's usefulness in competitive play, but the fact that she has a couple little new tricks might mean that she could still be strong as a diving tank and still work really well in a dive composition. So I'm going to talk about her other changes right now. So for the boosters, D.va can now use her fusion cannons while flying, and this is something that people have asked for a very long time, but that Blizzard always thought was a little bit too strong. So if you press your shift, you're using your boosters, you can left click the entire time, and I don't know if the left click will still apply a slow to your speed while boosting, but I'd actually expect it wouldn't, and you only slow yourself when you're done boosting and then once you're rocking around. So it definitely allows D.va to chase kills a lot better and to dive into people's faces a lot more aggressively, since you can start firing from the very beginning, and say if you charge after someone, you bump them, and then you need a little bit more damage to finish them off. Well, before you would have had to stop your boost and turn around and fire at them, but now you can channel at them the entire time and hopefully get a lot of damage in onto them, which is nice. It definitely doesn't make up for losing 50% of your uptime on defense matrix, but it does allow you to be more aggressive. So they've given D.Va an entirely new ability, which is interesting. Unfortunately, we don't have any damage numbers on it yet. Hopefully we get those on the PTR, because that'll be really, really important to figure out how strong she's going to be after this nerf. So D.Va has a new ability, Micro Missiles. D.Va launches a long salvo of small missiles that explode on impact, dealing damage in a small radius around them. It can be used while using her other abilities or firing her fusion cannons. Now, they're saying that they want to make her play more aggressively, and I'm sure make her sit on Soldier's face a little bit less, since aside from a few fetishists, that's not something most players in Overwatch are really loving at the moment, and D.Va seems a little bit too insane. Now, it doesn't really explain what Micro Missiles does. It doesn't say how many missiles there are. It doesn't really even say how you aim them. It doesn't say if it just lands in an area around you, but from what I see, it looks like it's just going to launch forward, similar to your fusion cannons, and then explode in an AoE. So maybe it will give her a good amount of burst. Maybe it'll even let her solo people a little bit better, or maybe it's going to be kind of not that much extra damage, and D.Va could potentially be trashed here. And that's what's really interesting here. The fact that D.Va could be total, complete garbage, or could still potentially be fine. And that's really all based on what Micro Missiles does. If it doesn't really allow you to make a huge impact once you dive into the fight and potentially allow you to solo kill someone by yourself, then having a 50% less uptime on your defense matrix could potentially kill D.Va. Just think of all the times when you use D.Va to block for your team. Say if the enemy Roadhog is ulting. Well, Whole Hog lasts 6 seconds. You used to be able to get a full 2/3 of that and block a good amount of it for your team, and now you'll only be able to block for 2 seconds. Or if you think about all the times when you need to help ferry a teammate of yours to safety by using your defense matrix to keep them from harm's way, well, you just have so much less time to do that, and once it's up, you've got to wait 10 seconds for it to come back. And at this point, it kind of feels like how the old ability was. It had a fixed duration and then a fixed cooldown, and it was just an ability that you used. Now, since there was such a long duration, having the charge time meant that you could pop it for 2 seconds, wait a little bit, and then pop it for 2 seconds again. But now, for the most part, you're probably going to be using it for the full 2 seconds unless you pop it really quick to eat a fire strike, or maybe if you're lucky, an enemy ultimate. And then you're going to have to wait the full 10 seconds to get it back, which feels a lot like regression, but maybe Blizzard feels like that's how it needs to be to make D.Va in a balanced place again, because she's really made a lot of Overwatch unfun. And as a D.Va player who has used her to gain a lot of skill rating, I can say that she definitely contributes to a lot of anti-fun in the game with that one ability. So they are pretty much neutering it. They are absolutely destroying it. D.Va can still use it to block your Zarya ultimate, but because it's so useless against Soldier now and potentially even against Pharah and Reaper, I don't think people are going to play D.Va nearly as much. I think that Reinhardt is going to be a lot stronger since he can block potentially a lot more from many of these ultimates. Reinhardt is going to work so much better against someone like Soldier 76 now and someone like McCree, and I feel like Reinhardt's going to take a lot of D.Va's place in a lot of these compositions unless D.Va can be aggressive enough to really dive in and get things done by herself. And you know, if you can kill the enemy Soldier 76 while he's ulting or before he ults, then that might be just as good as blocking his entire ultimate. So if this Micro Missiles ability is strong, then we could still see D.Va, but I feel like it hinges on that. Otherwise, I'm sorry D.Va, but you know, you had your time to shine in StarCraft. Now, I also wanted to talk a little bit about what is going on with the new map Junkertown. I don't know if you guys saw this announcement or the small cinematic. I'm not exactly sure what this was trying to be. It was a nice little funny cinematic. It felt a lot like the TF2 videos that Valve used to release. It was really in line with those, not with the other Blizzard cinematics at all. It was just fun and goofy, and it was a way to introduce us to the new escort map Junkertown, where we are escorting a payload of what looks like explosive gold, and overall the map looks very, very cool. There are some nice little nifty moving pieces to it, and overall it's kind of what I expected to see from an Australian map, and I think it'll be really cool to see a little bit more of Roadhog and Junkrat's lore and kind of their origin, since they're just two really funny, interesting characters. If you guys want to see the map, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because as soon as it goes live on the PTR tomorrow, I am going to be streaming the hell out of it here on this channel, as well as on twitch.tv/disciple, and we'll make a video about that map as soon as possible, showing you guys everywhere there is to go, everything there is to do, and maybe even all the cool map tricks you can make on it. So anyway, I want to tell you guys about the 2 new changes, since you guys should be informed about what's coming to Overwatch so you can be prepared, or you can whine and bitch about it on the forums. You know, that's not for me to decide. I'm just here to make videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.